Mesa one back again with another response to a request. I had somebody ask me to help them out with step record and mix down and effects. That's actually 3 different videos right there. So right now I'm going to work with step record on pattern tracks, and later on I'll do a video on step record with MIDI patches and audio tracks too. So basically we're going to listen to this track here, and you'll notice there aren't too many tracks in here, but there's a lot going on. The reason is because I'm using a pattern track and step recorded the pattern in, so everything fits. So let's just listen to it. This is drum samples, bass effects, drum, organ, strings, and a whole bunch of other shit too. So let's hear what we got.
The village is dead. Soon this place too will be consumed by the toxic jungle.
1,000 years have passed since the collapse of industrialized civilization. A toxic jungle now spreads, threatening the survival of the last of the human race.
Okay, so we'll just do that. You might have heard that I didn't use quantize on anything, and I didn't step record anything except for the pattern and one of these little guys here. And that's it. So let's get to the pattern track part. Even if you're not using the screen, if you press the shift button and then sequence, you're going to be brought to the pattern screen, and here you can lay down your pattern. I'll play just the pattern right now. Okay, so obviously not quantized, but it gave a decent feel to it. Now in this case it's a 16 bar pattern. And I have multiple patterns going on in here, but we're going to go ahead and exit out of that by pressing shift and sequence. Now when you select a pattern track and you hit the pads, you know, let's see. No, I don't have a third, just the 2. Okay, so the MV8000 doesn't allow live pattern play, which means the only way you can use your patterns is to step record them in. But that's absolutely fine, because you can adjust where the step record jumps in the amount of, I believe, ticks, which, you know, allows you to fine tune it. But, you know, you MV8800 users definitely have the advantage in this area. So the way we do this is, let me just skip forward to a part of the song that is empty, so I can, alright, here we go. It's only 36 bars long. It's just kind of something I'm playing around with right now. We're going to go ahead and turn loop off, because the loop ends right there. So the way you do this is you hold down, let me get my left hand here, shift button and record. And then basically you have your choice of length. In this case I'm choosing pattern. So if I press pad 1 and it's 4 bars, it'll only play for 4 bars. And then I press 2, even if pad 2 is a pattern of a different length, it'll play the entire pattern and then be ready for the next. You can also change it to, I think that's 4 bars, single bar, and all the way down the line to your tiny little bits if you want to stutter edit some shit or whatever you want. In this case I have it on full, and an option that you have in audio phrase step record that you don't have in pattern play is adjusting the duration and the velocity and all that stuff. So if you have a natural cutoff to your sound, like you're triggering an external synth and you want to have that natural cutoff there, or maybe a reverb or something, you can set your duration to what I have in the Creator project is standard 80%, which means that 1/5 of each step is going to be left blank to allow for the natural cutoff. In this case, it's not there. So why don't we try this? Left hand again, shift, record, and let's just do, I'll just tap them. Okay, so we just got a whole bunch of bars here. I'm going to zoom out here and show you what we just did. Here we go. And I don't know if you can see the separations there, but they're there. And I'll go back to where we started, step recording, which is at the beginning of bar 37, and I'll just play it. Okay, so they're basically 16 bar patterns, so we're not going to wait for that to finish. Let me go to right here, few bars before. Since I pressed pad 1, it played the first pattern and recorded all 16 bars of that down. And then I pressed pad 2, which means directly when pad 1 ends after 16 bars, pad 2 picks up from bar 17 to the end of bar 32. So we're going to hear that transition. You'll hear some additional instruments come in. See, so all you have to do is, if you just want to form a skeleton track for this song, make multiple patterns, and you can just play around with them. And of course, it doesn't actually record the audio, it just triggers a pattern. So when you go in, you can change patterns or copy patterns to different parts. What Hannah has showed you in some of his vids is taking one pattern, copying it across multiple pads, and then just muting certain tracks on one pattern, and you know, maybe soloing just a piano on another pattern. So that way you have your little pieces laid out and you can just stick them together like Legos, and then you have your bass. Now I don't know if this changes for the MV8800, but at least for my MV8000 you can only have one audio track in your pattern. But that doesn't stop you from having additional audio tracks in the main sequencer window that will play at the same time as your pattern. So even if you do nothing but lay down a simple 1-bar drum loop, and you know, just the MIDI hits, and you're triggering like a 808 or something, a patch inside the MV, you can save yourself a lot of time. Instead of copying and pasting, just step record that in. So stay tuned for the video on step recording audio phrases, and I hope this was helpful for you guys.